Hello, this is J.N.S. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a great day. And we are back with our weekly tarot. I usually like to start a little earlier, but it's kind of late on a Friday. But nonetheless, we're here with our weekly tarot, and we want to talk about some of the things that we discussed from last week's. We do a review first, a laborious review, a very tedious review of what we said would happen, assessing some of the global viral events based on what we said would transpire this week. And so we'll start with the review, and then we will go into next week's reading, which starts. We'll read for just the 31st. We'll do for the 31st or after this video ends. But yeah, let's look for after directly after this video ends. And I always post a timestamp of when it was officially ended. Um, but yes, next week's reading will be from August 30th to September 6th. Yes. And so after we do the review, we will go into next week's reading. But what's so interesting this week, because I mean, we talked about that there could be a potential for like major lawsuits relating to something with military or intelligence, and then we also said it could be a woman coming forward, and then we said blind justice, and so. We see, a couple of things that transpired this week with major lawsuits that did involve the Department of Justice, that involved attorney generals, that involved the RNC, that involved when we are going to talk about the Meta situation, with Meta coming forward, was Mark Zuckerberg admitting to censoring user information and being pressured by the Biden administration to do that. And so we're going to talk about that confession and how he said he regretted, and we're going to talk about the attorney general that filed the lawsuit that necessitated Mark Zuckerberg even coming forward with the confession of the regret. And so we'll discuss that, because that was based on the lawsuit, and we know Meta was funded by DARPA and the CIA. And so there was the military and intelligence lawsuit that we were talking about, but then there was a lot of other lawsuits relating with the Department of Justice and RealPage for illegal for jacking up the rent prices illegally. And so we'll discuss that as well. Google just got into a lawsuit today. I mean, we're talking about major like lawsuits that would be uncanny, and so a Google lawsuit would be uncanny. The attorney general following the lawsuit against Meta, and then Mark Zuckerberg coming forward with the confession, like that wouldn't the probability of that could have happened at any time, of course, but when we talk about probability distribution science, we're talking about the continuous variables that lead to a likely outcome of events based on ideograms or whatever tools you want to use to do this, this predictive programming, will you? And so last week, as you can see your spread, we saw these things. We saw like something with lawsuits. We saw something with, and usually for lawsuits, you would see like the court. That was the justice card, right? You see the justice card, and even though there's no justice card, we were still able to see lawsuit in the reading. You know, Queen of Swords and Queen of Swords and King of Swords. It and then you got the five of these things kind of just allude to lawsuits and restrictions around uh this imposement. And so we saw that, we could see that it's involved. For me, I could see, looking at this spread, maybe other people, if you get 10 different people, and this is what being an individual awareness unit is about, you get 10 different humans and you get them to say, here, read this spread and tell me what you think gonna happen next week. They probably would pick up something that would happen, a different part of what I can see, or what, or maybe they wouldn't be able to get anything from it. Maybe they just be like, I don't see anything. And then you'll have some that be able to pick a different aspect of something that could happen. And then even with maybe you get some people that will say, oh, I see what you mean with the lawsuits. And so I see that based on that air energy. It was so much air energy And so there was a lot of lawsuits this week, major ones like Google and the Department of Justice. The RNC filed a lawsuit this week. The RNC against Detroit for the stuff that for stuff that they did. Um, Detroit, man, I'll show you. They hired like I want to say 50. Don't quote me. We'll review the article together. But they hired like 50 Republicans and like 2,500 Democrats to count the votes. And so the RNC took notice of that and are like, oh my gosh. But yes, it was really busy this week. It was a lot going on, and so we will review. We'll start the review. I won't be long winded as per usual. Don't hold me to it though. And so let's start now. And to kill you, whatever. These motherfuckers will. He said it in an interview. He said these motherfuckers will wait 10 years. Okay. I was still talking about the previous week's review. Let me fast forward this a little bit. Sorry about that. 2015, right? 2016 for Prince. But yeah, I should have reviewed that before. They will fight to the very last. Oh gosh, people they will. What kind of shit been prayed or what been done over it at money and part. Okay, so I was still talking about a tangent topic that was relating to the previous week's review. So I gotta find where we went into, and usually I had that timestamp, but I had this week's reading is up. If you can see the spread, I just continued to talk about, and I'll remember not to do that for review purposes. Just that simple, and it's how it should be. But other playback value rather, forces at that level, which would some of it partially 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You think did Columbia use Canva? Did they use Canva? I think they did. Oh, good and hell well. That ain't no damn joke. How these people work. Firm's name Morningstar. Autonomy. Let's even look at. Oh, let me hide this so you can see it. Okay, now we starting. Sorry about that. I'm like, I should have did that before, but you see how I thought I started at that. Once the spread changes from like the screenshot where you I just thought that's where I had started the reading. So okay, but let's review it nonetheless. So this is where it starts for this week. Remember, that was everything that transpired this week from the 23rd of August to today. Okay, all the way. Okay. Ooh. Is it something with some lawyer? It's something with it's something major. The first thing I get is something major with a lawyer or law firm. I'm trying to get a feel for what this could mean. Because usually this is like a law firm. This could be an intelligence agency too. Did something come out with the intelligence agency? I'll just put it in there, intelligence agency. This could be a lawsuit. It's something major with lawyer, law firm, or lawsuit. Couldn't. So we're talking about lawsuits. This is that was the energy that we saw in the spread. And so the first one that we're going to talk about is Attorney General Andrew Bailey, and his role. And when we talk about these lawsuits, Zuckerberg came out with a letter this week. It was August 26th, actually, so that was about 4 days ago, and we recorded our video on the 23rd. The as far as the last week's reading was on the 23rd, and he admitted pretty much that he was pressured by the Biden administration to censor COVID-19 content. That is, he said he regretted that. He also said that he did something with not censored information about the Hunter Biden laptop as well. Okay, and so it was actively censoring actual truth in a sense. and dissenting, not dissenting, but alternative opinions and perspectives that were actually grounded in reality and in truth. Those that information got uh, removed, censored, shadow banned. And so Zuckerberg says he was pressured by the Biden administration. Nonetheless, he did that. He participated in um, very unethical behavior, and so it looked like he maybe there may have been some blackmail, or he said the exact, or his exact words, he was pressured, and that he regret that, and he um, you know knew some things about that RNA uh, shot, and even advised his staff from getting it, or they showed a clip of people of him saying, he has reservations, about it and whatnot, but then nonetheless censored other people who had the same perspective, the exact same perspective, and so that was wild. But what's important is that when we talk about the lawsuits and the process of how this even came about, or what is conjecture. Oh, I wouldn't say it's conjecture, because this is the person that had filed the lawsuit. His name is Attorney General Andrew Bailey. And he said he regrets it because our lawsuit exposed it, caught red handed. And so that was August 26th. And this is the letter where he says he regrets, censoring information. And then Attorney General Bailey is saying that is because we filed the lawsuit. And so he wanted to get in front of it first, and talk about it and tell the public first, and say how he regretted. And then, as you can see, the Honorary Jim Jordan, Chairman, Committee of the Judiciary, United States House of Representatives. This is August 26th. You can see this is Committee on the Judiciary, United States House of Representatives. And so Chairman Jordan, ooh, wait. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing stuff that I didn't see before. I'll just say that. But yeah, they said that the White House had repeatedly pressured Facebook for months to censor the content, including anything that was even just humor and satire, anything that expressed frustrations, you know. And they didn't take they didn't stand up. And he says he owns his own decisions, including the COVID-19 related changes that were made in the wake of the pressure. And he said he believes the government pressure was wrong. And at the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said, our team at the time feels strongly we should compromise our content. We should not compromise. Yeah, it says, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from the administration in either direction. And that is true. But you said, it's like a little too late. Like people, y'all did damage. What y'all did was criminal. And so people are, oh man, people were having a fit because a lot of people were censored. A lot of people were taken down, and they didn't deserve that. And so we said lawsuit. We said something with law firm, judiciary, the law stuff. This is a lawsuit, and then we have Attorney General Andrew Bailey saying the lawsuit exposed it. That's why he came out with it, because he regrets it. And like I said, it's a crying shame that something like this would even take place. But look at this. This is on Reuters. It says Zuckerberg says Biden administration pressured Meta to censor. So y'all see it August 27th. So he said major lawsuit, like with a lawyer. Attorney General Bailey is a lawyer. Something with relating to military intelligence. Meta, it was funded by DARPA and CIA. And that's both military and intelligence. So, we saw that. This energy of blind justice, this energy of lawsuits, this energy of, it's all there. And so he says, our position has been clear. Did we read that part already? Another one? Okay, so that's the White House saying their side. And Zuckerberg said his company was pressured into censoring content. Mm, 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 mm. And so a lot of people were very angry about that. Mm-mm-mm. Now here, like then we talk about. I didn't think we got to the part where I talked about blind justice yet. So let's do a little bit more review. But you see it right there. You see it right there. But we got more lawsuits because, or this energy of blind justice. Because we mentioned blind justice, so I want to get to that part so that you guys can see. Because Trump responded to this. Well, they published things that I think they published Trump's response, that what he would do to him if he tries to, because a lot of people think that the Facebook throttle or Meta throttling the Hunter Biden laptop story interfered, like skewed things. And so that's just an opinion. I'm not endorsing or saying, because I know how they get, man. But they're saying that he the throttle the Hunter Biden laptop story. They say censored Americans or whatever. And so Trump is worried, that he'll do that, like, okay, is that going to happen again? And so he said, he's ready to deal with him. What did I do with that? Oh, here it go right here. And this was published today, actually. Oh, cool. It says Trump threatened Zuckerberg with life in prison. A report on Republican candidate new book claims it will warn the Meta CEO against interfering in an upcoming election. Because I guess he figured the censoring, or whatever. So yeah, it's right there. But this is when we talk about, but this won't be made. This may just be harshness. I don't think it's necessarily blind justice. But we did talk about blind justice. But I think there's another scenario that took place this week that may fit that more. So let's go back to the review. Oh, you know what? There was a lawsuit this week. This was 2 days ago. With the military tried to hide evidence of a massacre, a lawsuit just exposed it. So we're not going to be looking at the pictures of whatever this is because I don't know, if they try to show something that's offensive to people. So I won't scroll down, but maybe we could see. Okay, this don't look like pictures. This just look like words. So let's see what it is. So it does look like there was some sort of lawsuit with them as well, in addition to the Meta situation with the Attorney General. Um, yeah, that was interesting. But let's keep going with the review. And so there was a female that also that did file a lawsuit. Let me share it right here. Make sure I got it. What did I do with? Oh, here we go. So this is Judge Nero's Anna Nitrabaco lawsuit against Met Opera to gender discrimination. So there was a female. This was August 23rd, 8:17 p.m. And as we know, the video that we did that we published last week, that was finished way earlier than 8:17 p.m. It was way earlier than that. And so I guess this is some lady with some lawsuit. She might have already had been going with him. I don't know. I just type in. You see how I do. I just go on Google and type in lawsuit and see what pops up, and it has to be something that is pretty major. So there's uh, DOJ. Actually, we didn't talk about DOJ yet, so let's get there. Let's keep going. So these are different scenarios. That's why I said it's another scenario. So that means it's like different event, and so those both of those events happen. But look at this one. The Department of Justice filed an antitrust suit against RealPage. This is a maker of a rent-setting algorithm that sets up the prices for the housing in all of America. And they were illegally doing something with their algorithm and working with other landlords in the areas to boost prices to reduce competition. So it's pretty much like illegal price fixing. It's an illegal price fixing scheme that will reduce competition so that everybody can boost profits boost prices rather, and their price and their profits. And they took over the market for price setting software, so they monopolized it. And so this is why the rent has been so damn high. If you're wondering why has the rent been so high, this is why. Okay. And so the Department of Justice had filed an antitrust suit against RealPage. This is the maker of the rent setting algorithm, because they have gotten so ridiculous with the rent, and everybody knows they've gotten ridiculous with the rent. And so here's Attorney General Josh Steen sues RealPage, alleging the company raised rent illegally, and this happened on August 27th. Actually, it was I think it was the 26th, but I think they didn't update it. Yeah, so that's ridiculous. So the company raises rent illegally, and it happened all over the country. And so here's another one where Tennessee joins one of many states. Oops, sorry. Tennessee joins one of many states in the DOJ lawsuit against RealPage, and this was yesterday. So this is major. And this is multiple states that filed a lawsuit by the Department of Justice against them for making it easier for landlords to raise rent prices. This is why the rent had been so fucking high. You know, and it's just not right. People just want to get over like a fat rat. And my thing is, you gotta be fair. Supply and demand must have some sort of equilibrium within these damn prices between what people have and what could they afford and the supply. Like that's ridiculous. And so this is so illegal. And I'm happy that something is being done about it, because I mean, come on. And see, look at Nashville says, and you know what? I had moved to Nashville in the summer, and I thought I would like it. I'm gonna go check it out. I want to just check it out, and other circumstances, under ugly circumstances, unfortunately, in terms of like, it's not even important to get into in this particular video. I already talked quite a bit about stuff like that, but I went to Nashville, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll see how the energy is here. And one of the reasons why I was like, I don't think I could do it. The rent was really high to me, and I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with Tennessee or anything, and I didn't quite like it, to be honest. But I tried Nashville, and I was like, it costs too much, and so they are going to be suing the DOJ rather, and these states are going to be suing RealPage. And so we'll see what comes out of that. I think we need something more actual housing policy to actually make rent affordable in some level, or to do something that takes some of the load off, or they can do stuff like this, but if it has an effect in our everyday lives, that's have yet to be seen, that has yet to be seen. And so we'll see. When we think about like all of these lawsuits, like these is like major lawsuits, like this is not just something small. And then I want to share this. Yelp just sued Google. This was published yesterday. Yelp just sued Google because they say Google is illegally dominating the local search results according to Yelp. And here's the thing: Google is also funded by intelligence agency, and so you see it right there. And here you got that they are trying to bring the case to the U.S. Justice Department. So Yelp is complaining because Google has been dominating the search engines, but they've been illegally doing things like I guess even on Yelp's, is it Yelp search engine? It was anti-competitive practices, I guess. And so Yelp had noticed the increase in a number of Google searches for a term that often resulted in zero additional clicks to links recommended on the page. The reason, according to Yelp, is that Google's local search product just provides all the information on the search page, which gives users no reason to click through to a competitor. I see because of that AI stuff. Because I know that the search engine is a little different now that whatever you type in, you will get some sort of AI output. And so, and technically just having all of the information right there, having no need to click on a Yelp or to click on damn near any other websites when you think about it, because now it's the Google AI giving you whatever the fuck it is. And so we do have to be careful about that. They have to be careful about that because that we don't know the data sets that Google is using to churn out their information. I know they're about that. Was it Google thinking about investing in Nvidia? Was it? I know. No, Nvidia is thinking about investing in Open AI, right? Yeah, Nvidia and Apple are thinking about investing in Open AI, and so I don't know what Google's doing. I know they just created Gemini, which is like a sentient AI. And so we'll see what's that about. But I noticed the difference too. I noticed me just looking at the Google AI output of whatever I search, and then sometimes if I have time, I will click on different sites though, just to make sure that the information is aligned and I'm not getting botched information or censored information. But sometimes I don't, and so I have to keep that in mind myself, and I ask you to keep that in mind. So so you be aware of that, like that it's Google that is now populating the actual responses instead of you having to actually click on any article, any Yelp or any other informative apparatus, media apparatus. This is what it is. This is where it's at. And so, I mean, that's something else. That's something else. So that's a major lawsuit, and that was just yesterday. You know, I think we also got another one. I think this one is more so I want to cover with blind justice because I did feel that energy, and I want to wait to cover that. So we will review, continue the review. Let's continue to review. So I know we're talking about like the individual stuff, but let me try to fast forward to like more of the global event where I talked about blind justice. Okay, so here we could kind of look at it like with Trump. You know, today he says Trump threatens Zuckerberg with life in prison. You know, a lot of people may not see that as blind justice because life and life, but who knows? Um, Maybe this wasn't the best example, but I mean it's still informative nonetheless because he did say what. So they saying that Trump is referring to a $420 million contribution that Zuckerberg made to the 2020 presidential election to fund voting infrastructure. $420 million. Whoo, that's a lot of damn money. And it says the former president went on to claim that Zuckerberg had told him that there was nobody like Trump on Facebook, but at the same time has steered it against me. So he had took Trump off of Facebook. Then isn't that right? And they didn't get removed from Facebook. Yeah. So Zuckerberg sent a letter to the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan, confessing that senior officials from the U.S. President Joe Biden's administration had repeatedly pressured Facebook to censor COVID-19 content back in 2021. And he says that he believed that the government pressure was wrong and expressed regret for not speaking out about it at the time. Zuckerberg went on to declare that he will no longer compromise Facebook's content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction. He pledged to push back if something like this happens again and will remain politically neutral ahead of the November election. They probably held some blackmail on that motherfucker head. I'm telling you. That sound like, ooh, ooh. And so look at this. It says GM must face action. GM must face big class action over faulty transmissions. So anytime you say must face, this is like that blind justice energy for sure. This is what the energy was. And this was today, I believe. Oh, this was yesterday. So this was yesterday. General Motors was ordered by a federal appeals court to face a class action claiming it violated the laws by selling several 100,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs with faulty transmissions. Ooh, that's crazy as hell. And this was yesterday. So General Motors was ordered by a federal appeals court. So that's blind justice right there. That's blind justice. It was ordered. It wasn't, you going to wait. We're going to see. We're going to do trial. No, you was ordered to face a class action because you knowingly sold several 100,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs with faulty transmissions. That's crazy. The litigation covers about 800,000 vehicles, including 514,000 in the certified classes. So make sure y'all don't have none of these. Look at these. This Cadillac CTS, CT6, Escalade, Chevrolet Camaro, Colorado, Corvette, and Silverado, and GMC Canyon, Sierra, Yukon, among others. So make sure you check. If you got a GM, make sure you check that you didn't get the faulty transmission. Let's see, because they got some dates here. Let's make sure you can get these dates. It says those cars were sold in 2015 through 2019. Okay, and it's equipped with the A8L45, 8L90 8-speed automatic transmissions. Okay, between 2014 and 2015. So, and we're talking about 2015, 2019. Sorry, 2015, 2019. I'm going too fast. Let me slow down. But yes, check your model. Check that engine and check these years, and to make sure you don't got no faulty transmission, because you join in on that class action, okay? Or you report it, whatever. Because I think what happens is this is blind justice. So it looks like they probably already got all of y'all in the database, whoever own these cars, as far as them license plates, and you already just been enrolled in it. But it could be something you want to look into. But I think when it's something, just the way it reads to me. They were ordered by a federal appeals court to face a class action claiming it violated law. So this make me think that, because sometimes they'll do that, like you won't have to do anything or whatever. So I got a feeling that they got all y'all license plates or whatever in the database, and they put you on that class action lawsuit, and we'll see the outcome over the faulty transmission. That's definitely blind justice, for sure. And another thing, the last thing we're going to talk about is the RNC threatening. Actually, they didn't threaten. They're suing. They are suing. They already sued. They already filed the lawsuit. Let me actually see if I can find something on this, because I don't think we can play Jesse Waters in here, but let me just see if I can. RNC sues Michigan. Okay, yeah, we found something here. And so this was 3 days ago. Republican sues Detroit from hiring more Democratic election inspectors than Republicans. RNC sues Detroit, says city didn't hire enough Republican election workers. Whoa. Let's take a look at it. This was August 27th. And so let's see. It says the Republican National Committee has filed a lawsuit against Detroit, alleging that the city officials haven't hired enough Republican election inspectors, also known as poll workers. Under Michigan law, commissioners. Let me just see. Okay, so here it goes. It says so the city appointed 310 Republican election inspectors and then 2,337 Democrats for the primary election on August 6th. This means that of the 335 precincts, 300 failed to comply with the equal number as nearly as possible for election workers from each major party, and 202 precincts didn't have a Republican election inspector. Woo, according to the suite. And so, is that because of the proportionality of like the actual representation is disproportionate? Is what I'm thinking of Republicans. Could that be that, or is it something really nefarious? But obviously, they did their due diligence, probably, getting evidence, and as a result of that, of whatever they found means and credence to sue Detroit. And so that means that they probably, if you could probably get public access to the number of Republicans and Democrats that are registered in Detroit, or in these precincts, rather, all of these precincts. And so they probably noticed just a grave disparity, or this disproportionate amount of Democrats over the Republicans that was hired to be the inspector, even though there were probably more Republicans. So it based on the population of Republicans in Michigan, the proportionality didn't add up. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm trying to see, maybe we can read it and see if there's more context. But this is something you have to actually like have hard numbers, because from me looking at it, one could say, I mean, we're talking Detroit. Like, is it just because there's just more Democrats, period, and that's just it? But something telling me that that may not necessarily be the case. Um, that it may be some legitimate underrepresentation in the Republican inspectors based on the population, and so we'll see. Mm-mm-mm-mm. People do some wild stuff, boy. But yep, but totally inappropriate for them to do that, and so they're trying to get in ahead of potential for something to go wrong, or for something to not be done fairly. And so that's fair. It's but obviously, when I said it's totally wrong, I'm saying like it's totally wrong for if they just are purposely going out of their way to skew the inspectors in their favor. You know what I mean? Like, that's giving suspicious teas, and so you want to make sure that things are fair and balanced all around, and so that people have a chance um, to do what they feel, what they want to do, what they want to vote, and make sure that they vote is counted and whatnot. And so I think that's what the lawsuit is about, just to try to make sure that no shit like that that nothing like that is attempted for the upcoming election. And so let's take a look. Actually, we can move on to next week's reading, because I think that was it. It was just major lawsuits. Like, we didn't really see any other global events besides like blind justice and lawsuits, major lawsuits. And so we saw that. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So let me get it started for next week's reading, which again will probably start directly after this video, or we can start it tomorrow or whatever, and it will go until September 6th for sure. So let's get next week's energy going. Let's see what is for next week. Next week. Lord have mercy. Mm-mm-mm. Next week. Next week. Ooh, okay. Okay. This is interesting. I'm trying to see if I get anything intuitive immediately. See if I get anything. I hope what the first thing that's coming to mind out, I hope that's not correct. I'm still getting it ready for you guys. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see it. Oh man, look like a spoil of plans. Oof. Make sure I'm sharing it. Wow. I will put my links in there just in case anybody wanted to get in contact with me. I'll put that in there. But the first thing I get is some sort of spoiled plans. And you know what it's relating to? Travel, planes, like it's something with that damn air. Something don't go right. Something with the air. Something with airplane travel, telecommunications, and the air. Something gonna get fucked up. It work itself out. It looks like there's something being this is just a global thing more so what I'm seeing is like there's some sort of, let me actually study this more. There's some sort of there's a couple of things coming, but I do know it's something that's restricting relating to air travel and airplane. That's collective globally, but so even if you want to look at this individually, unfortunately, like be careful of that. This, make sure you kind of maybe give yourself some time, or uh, like an hour, maybe plan something like it's either something where you may actually, I'm going to stick on global because before I get to individual, I'll stick to global. So we got something relating to a disruption or a cancel of plans relating to airplanes, travel, FAA, something with the air, telecommunications. This could relate to something with space, anything with space too, something with space, any sort of satellite. It's something with that, but it's definitely something relating to air. And so on a global sky, unfortunately, this may impact travel for like the regular humans. It may impact travel. Mm. But it does look like nonetheless some delay, and from what I would, as far as my probability of outcome, I do think that it end up working itself out. It is still kind of it's not an anxiety feeling, but it's like a restriction. Like there's a possible sense of restriction. Another thing I see is that they might have been there's a decision with something major. So this could be like some sort of partnership or some sort of celebration or team coming together, and they think they have like some sort of deal or some sort of something that's working out, and the decision is made to just take that risk and to throw caution to the wind and do it. And then it either gets halted, or there's something relating to not enough funds, or not spiritual malnourishment, and then relationships, something with spiritual malnourishment, possibly even something that has low self-esteem to it, or the it's just something slowed down though. But it seems like there could have been like a fallout with like with the potential partnership or venture, or a decision to do that, to think it was like something that thought of or something that they were planning, and it comes to either like a halt or stand. It's not a standstill, but like a halt due to some sort of problem with money, fiscal, or the actual spiritual malnourishment, something relating to that as well. And so yeah, that's what I get for global events. Trying to see, you know what, I wonder if still going to be some budget issues. Let me actually look. I didn't even write this stuff down. I actually need to be writing this stuff down. So we said uh, travel, air, space, FAA, something goes awry, or like something like around that. And then we said like a partnership with not enough money, or they were excited though. They were excited Plans get stalled or canceled. This has to be like some sort of major event. Travel airspace, um, also telecommunications and satellites. And I got a feeling something with that air, something with the airspace that's going to be happening. That's the first thing I pick up. It's the first thing. And yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me still look. And this was a company that they were working together, and then it didn't work out. It looks like due to I want to make sure that like, write all this stuff out. Due to work out due to okay. Another thing that I'm picking up on is like budget. Is it something? It could be something with budgetary issues. Let's see what kind of budgetary issues this kind of look like. At least I could try to see if I could pick up something. I know it could be budget issues relating to this. Again, this is like air travel or transportation in general. Budgetary issues around the foreign policy. I don't know why that stuff is coming to me. Um, this one I want to look at this. Yeah, this nine of wands. Let me get into the individual because individual is screaming at me now, and so I'll get into that, and then if I pick up any global events, I'll get into that. But I get back to that. But I have to say, a lot of people may feel like a little bit on guard, like a little bit of a psychic wound, distrust. Of this could be like a third party or a friend or someone that you know has had been codependent on you, or you've been codependent on them, or you put yourself in a situation that you know you shouldn't have been in, abusive situation. You may start to want to get away, and I'm hoping that's the case. Get away fast, or up into the middle of the week, or literally maybe even to the end of the week, like Wednesday or Thursday, you may feel that feeling of that spiritual malnourishment or that codependency with that other person, and that psychic wound that keeps you kind of isolated and guarded. The advice for that would be to decide whether you're going to move forward or not, to make it to understand initially how much of your time you're going to invest to that particular emotion. You may be extra sensitive this week. Unfortunately, you may notice that there's a lot of sensitivity, imagination. That's good, but in sensitivity in a way where it's a little the emotions are a little bit on the negative or the neutral. I would say more so on the negative. I have to say, um, but nonetheless, there is something where people are thinking of taking some sort of risk or throwing caution to the wind. That is an okay week to do that. You may feel a little shaky, work through that fear, but it's an okay week to do that. I have to say, and you're going to be excited. It's like giving you this emotional push and this drive to try something new, for the week or take this risk. It's like some people will be taking a risk and they feel like they will go forward. They have assessed. Actually, I know some people. Some people this week, you're not even going to have enough money to do what you spoke that you this risk or whatever that it is. Or that you want to take, you don't even really have enough, but you still want to go forward with it. It's a neutral energy. I have to say, I can't see. It's like a neutral um, where whether it works out or not with taking that risk. But it does look like it's some good. It's a decent energy to go forward. But just know that you may, if you feel a little insecurity or still feel a little limitation, just work on expanding that. Work on keeping that imagination, that creativity, and that their decision space range has to be expanded. And that, believe it or not, allows you to see the probabilities and give you more self-esteem in terms of realizing that you can do fucking anything. The more your probabilities of variables, of continuous variables, uh, is honestly infinite. And so that's just something you want to say in simple terms. That is, you can do anything. You can really do anything. And if you keep that in mind, that's going to help with some of the energy that you may feel this week in terms of like, oh, is it going to work out? And I'm distrusting it. I'm feeling a little restricted. Is this a situation I should be in? Feeling a little victimized, and those emotions will deter. It does look like most people are going to go through with their plans, um, and so that's good. Let's see, relationship wise, looks like the week starts off really good. Relationships wise, probably something with probably working. A lot of people gonna be working on stuff with home improvement. We'll be looking at stuff with home improvement, renovations. Possibly this would be like some renovations, or even a lot of celebrations of anniversaries and shit like that this week. Maybe even a major one that goes global or something. That goes viral for a major anniversary. I'm not sure, but that's the energy that I do see, and people celebrating, uh, even like going out. So a lot of you guys are going to want to go out with about two or three friends, and I have to say, you're gonna be spending some money you ain't really got you don't have, and it'll give you a little bit of of feeling limited. But again, you continue to go forward. But it is going to be some people you have some good time you spend with your friend, or you if it's not you, your friend may not have enough. Somebody in your group may not have enough, and this may not even be an outing. This could be even a venture that you guys take upon, an investment in renovation, an investment in something of that nature. Something with renovations can also be, and then you realize you got to that person didn't have what they're part of it that they said they were going to have, and then you decide to move forward with it. It could even be a situation like that I do see coming up with people as well. Wow. Yep. And but it does look like things could be moving quickly in your personal life. For the individuals, like you have a green light. Like you can move forward. Is a good energy for that. You again, I'm not going to hold you. You're going to face some. It's not a roadblock, but you're going to face some challenges with feeling confident and self esteem about the particular venture or whatever it is that you're trying to get into. A lot of it some of it can be related to travel. Some of you actually literally may be relocating and moving either from apartment to apartment, another a house or something, or literally relocating from state to state, traveling out of the country. Those type of things. It's going to be a lot of movement in that area in general. That's what I'm seeing on an individual level. So a lot of movement, um, and again, either something that you may feel like you don't have enough funds to do the trip or to take the travel, do whatever, or you're going to have to spot a codependent person that does not have enough, or doesn't have it or whatever. Um, the most extreme of this again is you yourself may face an individual sort of like delay in the travel, or delay in like say if it's an airplane, there's a potential for a delay or an unexpected charge. Like you have to spend unexpected money, and you have to make a decision. I'm going to spend this money, and it's going to send me that. I see a lot of that going on this week too. I ain't gonna hold you. So it's either for the air travel, it could there that I'll say is individual for the individuals. There could be a delay, but what I will say is, if you it is decent energy though to move forward as far as like tackling on the momentum. There'll be some momentum pickup towards the end of the week though, I have to say. Or that is more so the probability of the entire outcome, though there are some challenges to work through in terms of feeling not acknowledged, or feeling you having to make necessary changes to find fulfillment because you may feel like, okay, is this situation right for me, that type of thing. But other than that, it does look like it's a good week, I have to say. I don't see anything that looked too outrageous. Yeah. So let me get up on off of here. Let me make sure. Let me make sure, is my sound working? Okay, because let me just make sure that this damn sound is working. Okay. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, it just was like sound. Okay, so it was there. So I'll end it for this week, and I will come back next week. I'm gonna make sure that am I sharing the right screen still? Okay, no, I'm not sharing any screen. So let me end this one because I do stream this on a different channel. So let me remove this one.